What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about testing our application with Mocha, and also to do that we need to actually seed our database with data. Then we're going to start testing our post users, the ones we made right here, our post user, and the post or the get user me with Mocha. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So we're going to start off by adding our server, well, not adding, we're modifying our server.test.js, but we're going to create a new folder because we don't want to keep on adding new things or like new seeded data into this file. This file, that's not its purpose. Its purpose is to actually test the things, and we want to be more organized about stuff. So we're going to actually create a new folder inside of test folder called seed. And inside that seed, we're going to call a new file called seed.js. Just like so. And we're actually going to move this out of here and put it in here, paste it. And actually we're gonna move this as well. And we're gonna make a variable in here called var populate to do's, like that. And we're gonna make it equal to this. All right. But since we're using the object ID and the to-do model, we are going to have to import those in here. So I'm going to just grab it from in here, copy, paste, and let me grab the other one, which was not from server, right here. Wait, server, it was from server, which is going to be the to-do. Copy that, paste that in here. Yep. And now we need to export it. So module.exports equals the to-dos and populate to-dos. That is it. Save that, and now we need to call that in here. So const, we're gonna grab the to-dos and populate to-dos from require. It is in the current directory and it's out of the current directory. No, it's not. It's in seed, the seed folder. So it's inside the current directory of server, which is test, and it's inside seed, and it's called seed.js. And now in here we're gonna just put in populate to-dos. And that should do it. Now we're actually going to test if our Mocha still works. So npm test. Am I not inside? Oh, nom npm test would be much better. And we get some errors. Great, awesome. There's nothing better than. Oh, that's why. All right, since right here the to do, we're actually going to be in this current directory. Right, we're inside this, the C directory. We need to go out one to go to this one. We need to go out another one to get out of it, right? So we need to get it out of this, and we're going into models, which is this, right? So let's try it again. Oh wait, let me see now. Populate to-dos L. Oh, control save. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. Fantastic. We actually have 11 passing, which it is working. All right. Next stop. We actually need to go back to our seed. I don't know why I went over there. But in here, we're going to create our new seed data, just like we did with to-dos. So just above this, we are going to need to call in the users model. So I'm going to just copy this. Switch this to users. Or user, and switch this to user. All right. So const users equals an array with an objects, and the first one, obviously, we're gonna need to create an ID. So ID is gonna equal new object ID, just like this. the email and password. So email, which is going to be user1@gmail.com, and then password is going to be user1 password. And now we need to create the tokens array of an object. So tokens, which is going to be an array of an object which has the access, which is the auth. That was weird. And the tokens, or the token property, which will carry the token itself. So the token, remember, we do need to use JWT, so we need to import that in here. So I'm gonna just const JWT equals require JSON web token. Now we can use it right here, which is going to be JWT.sign, which it takes in two arguments. Remember, the first one is the data, which is a formal object. So in the data, we want the ID. Now we're gonna run into a problem right here because we don't have the object ID. We can't reference it from here because we're barely making it. So up above, I'm actually going to create a constant user1 ID equal to this. Copy that, paste that. I'm gonna just make one for user2 as well. Grab this, put it in here. Now we can reference it down here. And we also want the access. So access, which is the auth. Now the second one is the hash or the secret that you want to give out. And it has to be the same secret we used in user.js, which is right here. So I'm just copy that. Paste that right here, and that is it for this. Actually, we need to toString it, so it's toString. So that way we can grab the string version of the token. Now moving on to user2. Going on to user2, we're not going to do the token. We're actually just going to copy this right here. Copy this. We're not going to do the token for user2. And we're going to do user2 right here. User1 is going to be user2. And user2 password. Awesome. So down here, we're going to create something just like populate to-dos, but we're going to call it bar populate users, which is going to be the exact same thing as up above, or somewhat exactly the same thing. And we're going to actually, that's why we put the users, because we're going to modify the users collection. So user dot remove, we want to remove everything from inside the users for right now. Remove that, and then we're going to do dot then okay. All right, this is going to be a tad different from up above. All right, so we're actually going to do two promises. We're going to have to save two of these, and we can't just do insert many like up here. We can't do that really, because our hashing, remember, this thing has to hash first, and if we do it this way, it's gonna just store the password as is. Like, just it's gonna store user1 password inside our database, and we don't want that. We want it to actually hash it, so we actually have to make it where it does a hashing for each one individually. So we actually have to do create a new user, and then save that user, and then create another user, and second user at least, and then save that user. Okay, so var user1, and I will show you a way to do that real quick. New user, and we're gonna get the user from the array above. We're gonna get the first user from the array above, and we're gonna save that. Now remember, this does This does return a promise. Remember that. So now if we actually do something like, so usually you would have this, right? You wouldn't even have this. You would have this, and you would do user1 like this, and then do dot save dot then, and then it'll save it, right? Get the user back. That's where you got the dot then. Let me do it right now. Dot save like this, and then dot then, right? And you get the user right here. And then in here, you would have to do the second user, which you would do user2 dot save dot then. You know, it's a callback within a callback, and I don't want to do that. There's actually a simpler way to doing it. I'm gonna show you that right now. I'm gonna actually copy this and create another promise, user2, and we're gonna do from the first element, and we are going to do dot save on both of them. Now, both of these do return a promise, so we could actually call something down here called promise.all, which will wait for both of these actually to actually be resolved before moving on to the next dot then. Okay, so how do we do that? We're gonna actually call an array and put both of the promises in here. So user1 and capital O, user1 and user2, just like this. And now we could actually do, we're gonna return this, return promise all, and now it's gonna have, this is gonna return another promise, but this promise that it returns already saved user1 and user2. Okay, so down here we're gonna tack on a dot then, and it's gonna be the same thing as up above. We're not gonna call a value, we're gonna just call done. So it's like this. Nope, without that, because you will get an error. You have that. All right. Now we're gonna actually move this over here to server.test.js, and we do need a, before I do that, we do need to call it down here. So populate users. Control save it now. I'm gonna copy this, and in here we're gonna just tack it on right here, and we're gonna do another one before each. So, and tack it on right there. Control save. Now, before I move on, I'm actually going to delete my to-dos collection, or to-do test collection, or database. Drop database. Yes, I want to drop it. All right. Now, if we actually run it, we get an error, obviously. All right, where is it at? 43 on CJS. Let me see, 43. Right. Oh, that's why. Just like that. All right, let me see if everything's good to go. Since we're returning, we get another call right here. Yes, okay. This should work now. It should. I said that so many times in the past, and this is exactly what happens. Let's see what's happening. Serve not is not defined. What? Oh, it's a string. All right. Oh, well. Oh, that sucks. All right, let me actually try this out, or fix this, and then I will get back at you. Okay, I got it working, as you can see. It was kind of weird what I ran into. I wasn't expecting this whatsoever, but okay, let's first things first. Over here, I did over here. Oh, right here. Yes, right. Where's my, this is, oh, my seed right here. So users, I didn't misspell it. I had user instead of with the S. So that was one mistake. But the other mistake was that I was looking in some forums, and for some reason, this URL, this localhost colon 27017 will throw out errors. It'll start throwing out errors for some reason. So if you're getting an error, like this above where it says 0 passing 1 failing, just change it. Change the test environment. The MongoDB URI. Just change it to the actual IP address of localhost, which this is the same for everybody. 127.0.0.1, and then 2701 is the same thing here. Just change the localhost to this 127, the actual IP address for localhost, and that should fix up things. So, yeah, I mean, it was a weird situation. I have no idea why it's doing that, but if anybody knows, please leave a comment down below. And hey, the more that I will learn actually from this, I really do not know why that came up like that. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to RoboMongo and actually look at our stuff. So on users, we do have a users. We do have two. You see if our tokens are hashed. We don't have tokens. Oh, yes, we do. We have tokens. Right there. Token. And we get this weird hash, which is great. That is great. Awesome. We have that going on for us. And we get this token right here. The password, which is hashed. And password, which is hashed as well. As you can see, user 2, this is user 2, doesn't have a token because we didn't add a token. And user 1 does, which is user 1, does have tokens. All right. So it is working the way we expected. Now it's actually time to actually test on server test.js over here. So I'll scroll all the way down, and before this one, I think, yes, we're gonna make a describe block. It's gonna be the get route for /users/me, just like this. Nothing to do right there, and it should return user if authenticated. And it's going to be async, so done right here. Now, this shouldn't be new to anybody. If you don't know what I'm doing, I do have a video on the info card on Mocha. So check that out if you don't know what's happening. But this should be pretty simple from here on out. So we're going to request the app. And we're going to get the route users/me, and we're gonna set, remember we are setting the header, which is the xauth, remember, so we're setting the x-auth to, now we do need to add the users array up here, all the way up here. We do need to add the users array, so I'm going to do that right now, users. And I do need to add it over here because we're going to be using this array right here. So we're going to add that over here. So users, just like that, save that. And down here, all the way down here, we're going to actually get the token from the first user. Now remember, it's going to be users. And then it is an array. So we're going to get the first index of the array. And then it's going to be tokens. And since that's an array, we're going to get the first index of that array. And we're going to get the token from that. All right. We're going to expect. So we're going to expect a 200 from this call. And we're also going to expect something from the body. So expect. And then we're going to add the functions in here. So res. So we're going to expect the res.body._id, okay? And that we're going to expect that to be the users from index 1, element 1, that has the ID, _ID, .2 hex string. And I will, like always, explain what's happening in a bit once I'm done with this. But like I said, if you have been following on, you should know what I'm doing by now. We're also going to expect res.body.email to be the first user of index 1 at, remember to don't make that mistake again, users dot email. And then after everything is said and done, we're going to end it right here and pass in the done variable. All right. Control save this. All right. Let me explain to you what's happening. So we're gonna grab the describe, whatever. You already know what describe is. I'm gonna describe this. We're requesting the app. We're gonna get the user's me route. And remember, when we do get that back in server.js, all the way down here, where the user's me right here. Authenticate. Yes, because we're using the middleware. Authenticate. We're setting a token back at, we're setting the header, right? We're setting a header right over there. That's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to grab over here. We're going to get the user's me, and we're going to set XAuth to the actual token, because we need to get the token to verify who they are. We need to get the token from them, and we're going to expect the 200. If they have a token, they should have a token. We're going to expect the 200. And after that, when the body does come back, now remember the body does come back with an ID and email. We're going to be checking if the ID is actually the users one array over here, the users one array from right here. This ID that it came up back with, and the actual email. And then we're going to end it. That's all we're checking for, and we're going to actually test this out to see if it actually worked or not. Fingers crossed. And yes, it is. And what is this? Users. Control save. Now we're going to actually do the same thing, but it's going to be for a 401 if it's not authenticated. So should return 401 if not authenticated. Pass and done right there. All right, we're gonna request the app. Now feel free to actually copy and paste, because this is basically the same thing. Users me dot set. We're setting it to X auth. We're going to be setting this exact same thing, so I'm just grab this, paste that in there, and actually we're not going to set anything. We can set, and it has to be like a random token right here, so that way it could actually, fail. But we're not going to be setting anything. I made a mistake, sorry about that, guys. We're not going to be setting anything. We're actually going to just leave it at that, and we're going to expect a 401, because remember, if they don't have a token with them, well, obviously that's a 401 that's not going to be authenticated. And we're going to expect something from the body, so expect res, and we're going to expect res.body to equal an empty object. That is it, and it's to equal an empty object. And finally we are done, so dot end and done. Call in done right here, just like that. Awesome. Now let me explain to you what's happening. This one's pretty simple. We're getting users me / users me, and we're going to expect the 401 because we're not setting an authentication, or we're not setting the header with the token. We're not setting it. So when we get that back, we're going to see that it doesn't have a token. So we're going to send back an empty object with a 401. So let's see if this works. Save this. Now we should get 13 passing. No, and we don't. Expected 401 and got a 404. Did I set a 404 over here? Maybe I did set a 404, or in our server.js. Authenticate. No, I'm sending back a 401. Let me see where this 404 is coming from. I'm not too sure where it's at. Let me see where it's at. Actually, I don't need to look anywhere. It's right here. Users. Here we go. Users.me / me. Let me rerun this one more time, and this should actually work. 13 passing, which is right. All right, awesome. Now that we have users me, now we're gonna actually test our sign up route, which is dash users. So let's go over here, create another describe block. Describe block right here. Post is gonna be a post, and it's gonna be to dash users. All right. So we're gonna have 3 test cases. So it should create a user, right? All right, that's the first one. I'm gonna just copy this and do it 2 more times down here. So it should create a user, and then should return validation errors if request is invalid. So is invalid. And should not create user if email in use, meaning there's a duplicate email in there. It shouldn't create an email. I mean, it shouldn't create the user. All right, let's go for the first one right now. So we do need to create 2 variables, which is the email and the password, because we're gonna have to be sending this in to our backend. So var email, it's gonna equal some email, so ex@ex.com, and it's at ex, or I'm gonna just put at email.com. You could be whatever, and we're gonna make a password. So var password is gonna equal to, yeah, you can do whatever you want, but it does have to be the minimal length, which ours is, I think, is 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and an exclamation. I made it 9, so you know, because I'm an overachiever. Next up, we're gonna request. I can't get it from here, so request. I'm so lazy that I'm going through the drop down menu. We're gonna post. We're gonna get the post route dot post, and it's gonna be slash users, because this post comes from our server, because we're making a post to our users. So post users, and we're gonna send, we need to send the data, and it's gonna be an object with the email and the password, and we're gonna expect something from the body. So res, so we're gonna expect, there's gonna be 3 expects. We're gonna expect headers, we're gonna expect the ID and the email. Okay, so first one, expect res dot headers of the xauth property. Xauth property. We're gonna expect that to exist, okay? I mean, we don't know the exact value of it, so that's why we're gonna just say it can't be null, first of all. So we're gonna just say to exist, or to not be null. I think it's not. Actually, I need to look at jest. Great time to actually start doing a jest. So jest expect right here. Control F, not be. I know it's somewhere in here. Let me see. Okay, null. To be null. Okay, this is a 1. To be null. Okay. So we're gonna say, do they have one for exist? So Control F, exist. Did I even spell that right? Yeah, okay, so we're gonna use the other one to not be null. So we're gonna expect this to not dot to be null, just like that. So we don't want this to be null. Actually, yeah, like that. And we're also gonna expect res.body ._id to also not be null, because we're not gonna know the ID, the actual ID. So I'm gonna copy this, paste that right there. Just copy it just in case, and expect the body email to be is actually going to be, because we actually do have the email, and we're gonna right here dot. We're gonna try to match it with the email that we provided above, which is right here. All right. After that, we are going to end it .end, but we're not gonna end it with calling in done. No. We're gonna actually check inside the database. I don't know why I said it. The database or database, however you want to pronounce it. And in here, we're gonna say error if there is an error. So, if error, just return done and call out the error. If there is no error, we're gonna get the user. We're gonna go into the user collection, find one where the email is the email that we entered. Then we're going to get a user back. So user. We're gonna expect user to exist. So .to, copy this again, not be null. And we're also gonna expect user dot password to not to be the password. You thought it was gonna say to not be null. No. We actually don't want, since it's supposedly it hashed it, remember? So we don't want the password to actually be the password we provided up here. So this password is going to be the hash password back from the database. And we don't want that password, this password, to be the same password we have up here. That's why I said not to be password. So that is it. Done. Call it like that. And let's save this and give it a run. Let's see. Crossing fingers. I'm pretty sure everybody's crossing their fingers right now. Oh, God. All right. Well, we're getting 1, 2, and the third one, obviously, because we didn't do anything for the third one. But the first one, cannot read property X off of undefined. Well, let me see. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Yeah. So this user right here, I don't think we even defined. Yeah, we haven't defined it up here. So I'm gonna grab this, Control D, user, and it's from the user. Control save. Now let's see if that gives them some errors at least. It doesn't give us some errors. Booyah! It did give us an error. Awesome. Let's go back here. Should create a user. Okay. Okay, that's okay. Right here. Headers. Oh man, if they had Grammarly on I think they do. If they have Grammarly on Atom, that'll be so awesome. Yes, there we go. All right, awesome. Woo. Now let's go back to our next test case. Let me actually go forward and actually explain what's happening up here like I always do. So we made two variables because we're going to be passing it in. We're going to get the post /users, and we do need a post in the email and password. Once they get that, once we get the body back anyways, we're going to expect the body to, the headers of the XOF to not be null. We don't know what the header is going to be. Remember, it's a random set of characters. We don't know what it is. So we just expect it to not be null. We also expect the ID to not be null. Obviously, the ID, like I said, is a random character. It's an object ID, so we don't know what it is. So we expect that not to be null as well. And we expect the email to be the email we provided. When that is all good and done, we're actually going to end it, but we're going to actually go inside the collection and find it with the email, and we're going to find it, and we're going to expect the user. Obviously, if there is a user in there, there should be a user because we just created it. So we expect the user, this user that we got back from the, if we did get back one, we expect it to not be null. And we also expect the password to not be the password we set up here. We want this to be hashed, the user.password to be hashed. So once that passes, it's all done and we're all good to go. Add some semicolons there. Now, moving on down here. So I'm gonna just copy some of the things up here, like this right here. We'll copy this because we're gonna get from we're gonna get the post from users, and actually I'm actually doing my own object. So email. I'm gonna set this to, it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't be a valid one anyways. And password. There, just like that. Just simple stuff, right? We're gonna expect. We're gonna expect a 401 from this, or actually a 400, and we're gonna end it right here. Done. Remember, guys, we're trying to test it for the validation errors if request is invalid. Remember, so the email has to be wrong and the password has to be wrong. And down here, we can actually test it right now. Let me just save this. Ooh, fingers crossed. And okay, we got it. Awesome. Now down here is going to be the same thing as up here, just a tad bit different. So the email, we're gonna actually use the same email for up here, the one we got from, actually no, from our this right here, our users. We already created the user, remember? So we're gonna actually use the same user email, and we should not get it no more. So we're gonna send the email, not this. We're gonna send email as users. Remember, the first element dot email. So we're gonna grab the first element of users and grab the email from that. And since that's already in the database because of the before each up here, before each, it should be already in there. So when we try to create it again, it should give us a error. And I'm actually going to put a legit password in here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then the 0. Save. Now let's see. Oh boy, we got it. We got it all. We got them all. All right, guys. That is it for our video for today anyways. We have tested our routes we created in the last video. Man, that was a just make sure to, you know, get in touch with expected Jest. But in the next video, we're gonna be doing a login, right? We're also gonna be testing our login, and we're gonna do a log out as well, and we're gonna be testing our log out. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like or dislike this video, and leave a comment down below on what you thought about it, and if you have any problems whatsoever, because I did run into a lot of problems. But if you ran into problems, I would be more than glad to help you guys. So leave a comment down there if you have any problems, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.